good morning to our viewers. Indeed, we're just speaking about the security in and around the ICC precinct, Kaya. And of course, I can confirm, looking at what we are seeing from outside this precinct, that over the past 2 weeks or so, there's been heavy police presence in and around the ICC. Just looking at the visuals now, every corner is covered by law enforcement. There are concrete barriers. You see the fencing around, and police very, very tight control to ensure, of course, that the delegates who are attending this summit, that there is no that they are protected and that the summit goes ahead without any issues. Of course, apart from what is happening at the ICC, and the attention, of course, in terms of the security deployment is at the ICC to ensure that the delegates and our heads of state that are in Durban are safe. But I can tell you that the police in KwaZulu-Natal, or in Durban, should I say, certainly have their hands full at this particular weekend, because not only while the focus is on the ICC, but there's a lot that is happening in the Durban CBD, and so the police have really had to ensure that they essentially cover all angles. I'm just going to very quickly just ask my colleague, we're going to do a bit of a 360 here, just so that our viewers get a sense of what we are seeing and what is happening around this particular precinct. So you have just next to us is the Speaker's Corner, and this is usually where protesters would gather. And we do know, as Kaya was speaking to the generals there, that we are anticipating some marches in Durban tomorrow. However, they're not going to be gathering at this Speaker's Corner this time around. Police are then going to be ushering them to another part of the CBD. Then just across the road, we have the Kingsmead Stadium, where today, in fact, there is a cricket match that is taking place. You're already starting to see people there that have arrived for that cricket match. And I see a lot of people adhering to the message by the SAPS for people to get to the stadium on time so that they don't have any difficulties, because the roads in and around this particular area have been cordoned off. Further down the road, we then have the Moses Mabhida Stadium, where, of course, there we also have a game that's happening this afternoon. That is Orlando Pirates up against Chippa United. And so police have also then urged the fans of those teams that will be heading to the Moses Mabhida Stadium to ensure that they get to the stadium on time, because access around those roads is, of course, being cordoned off. And down the road, down at Durban's South Beach, that is where the wreath-laying ceremony at the statue of O.R. Tambo with the heads of state will also be happening. So the heavy police presence that is there along the Durban Promenade, where in anticipation for that ceremony that is happening this afternoon. That is just here, concentrated in the heart of the Durban CBD. Further along, we know along the promenade, we have all the hotels there. There's a heavy police presence there, all the way up to Mhlanga Rocks, where some of the dignitaries and the head of states are also at those hotels. So certainly the police in KwaZulu-Natal, or in Durban, should I say, really have their hands full. Let me now, without wasting much more time, bring in the spokesperson for the police in KwaZulu-Natal, Colonel Robert Netshiunda. Colonel, it's been a busy day for you today and tomorrow in particular, because obviously this is an important day considering what is happening at the SADC Summit. But I was just mentioning everything else that is happening around the Durban CBD. You really have your hands full today.
We do have our hands full, but we are up to the task. We've been at it for over a week now. So now this is the phase where we are executing our plan. We can say that so far so good, and we thank our people who heard our message, our call, and are heading into it. And as things stand, it's smooth sailing.
I'll just speak to us about some of the road closures. I know I was just mentioning everything that is going to be happening. We've got Kingsmead, we've got Moses Mabhida Stadium down at the beachfront. Apart from the list that you had sent, just speak to us about the road closures and where people need to avoid if they intend to come through to the CBD.
We can say that all the streets within the vicinity of the Durban CBD, especially our road zone, the ICC, they are closed. They are either partially closed, like the one we are in, especially closed, and there are those that are closed off completely. Even those ones that are closed partially will be closed completely when there's movement of heads of states. There is the M4 towards Umhlanga, next to the stadium, Moses Mabhida, where normally when there's a big match involving Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, we see congestions. today we are going to close some of the intersections to allow heads of states to move, even on other roads as well. So that's why we said for people to be safe, they must have enough travel time. In case they find the road closed partially for 10 or so minutes, then later they will be open, because that was going to happen. Close, open, close, open, close, open. Although in the CBD next to ICC, there will be complete closures.
You've classified this particular area as a red zone, but Colonel, we do know tomorrow we are anticipating that there are going to be some protests. My colleague Kaya Kumalo, in fact, was just speaking to one of the senior generals around this. You are on the ground. You've dealt with these marches. Speak to us about the plan tomorrow and the route that they're likely to take.
We were quite pleased with the marchers, the organizers, who agreed to what we proposed, that they can't come next to the ICC. This is a red zone. We can't compromise security of the heads of states and their dignitaries. So we are going to take them to the Speaker's Corner next to the South Beach. It's not because we don't want them closer. It's because they are coming with a number of people. We can't accommodate them at the ICC or next to the ICC. Hence, we took them to the South Beach, which, of course, their message was going to be heard, and police will escort them from the start to the Speaker's Corner and ensure that they disperse peacefully. It's not that we don't want them to march. We allow them to march. We are going to escort them. We just can't let them close to the red zone, because that's where heads of states are, and we control the roads, we control the airspace, we control everything around the red zone, because we can't leave anything to chance.
Colonel, I know we've already had one person that was arrested for trying to gain entry under false pretenses. Your message to anyone who may be trying to make their way in around here for anything but officially to come and attend what is happening at the ICC?
Apart from that one, we've got two more yesterday that we arrested them for having for using somebody's accreditation. They are locked up. So you can't try anything, you can't take chances. We are vigilant. We know what we are doing. We want anybody to come inside the red zone to be properly accredited. And that is to ensure that law and order is maintained in our country. And it doesn't matter where you are from. You respect the laws of the country, and as the police and law enforcement in general, we're going to respect you in your capacity. It's not about us as to what you are doing in the ICC. Our business is to ensure that whoever is in there is properly accredited and the area is safe and secure.
On a lighter note, before I let you go, Colonel, a lot of people were saying that this area has never been this safe. We can actually now walk with our cell phones out. So I tell you, the public is quite delighted with the level of security that we've been seeing around here.
When we operate in this format, we ensure that there's no crime within. We can't be ensuring that the area is safe and then everybody else is feeling unsafe. So this visibility is there for that, to make sure that they feel safe. Always.
All right, thanks to the summit. Thanks very much, Colonel. The spokesperson for the police in KwaZulu-Natal, Colonel Robert Netshiunda, of course, just speaking to us about all that is happening in the Durban CBD. Police certainly have their hands full from sports matches that are taking place. Of course, the focus is going to be on what is happening at the ICC with the SADC Summit.